your IRA tax-free. Hey everyone, Adam Bergman here, tax attorney, founder of IRA Financial. Today's AdBits going to teach you the tricks of the trade and how you could get tax-free, penalty-free access to your IRA and use it for any purpose, whether it's personal or business. And this is a really important topic because a lot of people make mistakes. They need money out of their IRA to deal with all kinds of stuff, right? We've all been there, whether it's, family, business, personal, medical, whatever. Things happen in life. And you got some money saved away, stored in your IRA, and you want to tap into it. But there are smart and tax-efficient ways to do it. So this podcast is going to highlight the 60-day rule. Now, the 60-day rule is a rule that is marginally understood. Most people don't even know it exists. And what I found is a lot of people end up needing their IRA for short durations of time to kind of bridge the gap between certain credit card payments, paychecks, things like that. So the nice thing about the 60-day rule is you can use it once every 12 months, unfortunately. For all your IRAs, whether you have one IRA or 50 IRAs, you can only do it once every 12 months. You can't do it once every 12 months for every IRA. There was a tax lawyer who attempted to do that because back in around pre-2016, when you looked at publication 590, which talked about IRA-related rules, they gave, and the IRS presented examples which seemed to suggest that you would be able to do this 60-day rule once every 12 months for each specific IRA. So meaning if you open an IRA tenant from banks, you can do it once every 12 months for each IRA and hold it for 60 days. There was a ruling. This tax lawyer tried to really push the envelope on that, set the case based off those facts to see if he would be victorious, and he lost. And the IRS said, no, it's for all your IRAs in the aggregate once every 12 months for 60 days, which, listen, we all wish we had more flexibility and freedom to use the IRA. Currently, for some personal or business related reasons, for a short duration of time. But the way the rules are set up is we can use it once every 12 months and use it for any purpose, tax-free, penalty-free, but we only have 60 days to use it. Okay. So that means the 60 days starts counting when you receive it. And when you put that check or wire that money, it needs to be 60 days or less. Can't be 61 days or 71 days or 81 days. And I spoke to a client a couple of weeks ago, and she got bad advice. She had several hundreds of thousands of dollars at Fidelity. She needed those funds to take care of a personal investment that she committed to, and she didn't have enough personal funds. So she wanted to use her IRA funds just for a short duration of time, just as a bridge to some of her personal investments coming due. And the individual Fidelity, at least that's what she claims, stated that she could use the funds and she just needs to deposit it back within a year. Now, she may have misunderstood this individual, or he or she at Fidelity also just may have misunderstood the rules. But the facts are she got herself into a pickle because now she's over the 60 days. And technically, once you're over 60 days, the IRS is super strict about enforcing those rules. Now, there is some wiggle room if you were active war or incapacitated, but otherwise, the IRS is very stringent on maintaining that 60-day rule limitation because they don't want people abusing it. So what's going to happen is that it was Fidelity. They probably issued a 1099-R because this was in 2023. This taxpayer now has to decide what to do. Do they just report the tax due on their 1040, even though they were under the belief that they had 12 months? So their intent was not to take a taxable distribution, but nevertheless, they broke the rules. She was over the 60-day limit. So if she does not include the tax on her return on April 15th, there will be penalties. There will be interest, and she's probably going to lose if the IRS audits her. Now, How will they find her? Is pretty simple. They're going to match out the 1099, which will not equal her tax return, right? Her tax return will include all her W-2 and other income, but it's not going to include, if she doesn't report it, the 1099 amount of the distribution that she took from Fidelity, even though it was her intention to return those funds within 12 months, quote unquote. Problem is the rules state it's 60 days, once every 12 months, not 12 months. So she only had 60 days to use those funds for any purpose. If you take cash out, you got to replace it with cash. You can't take cash out, buy a car, buy a house, buy Bitcoin, and then return that in-kind asset. You take cash, you got to return cash within 60 days. And again, just to stress this even further, the IRS is very, very protective of their 60-day window. They don't want people abusing it. So just be super cautious and remind yourself that if you are going to do this 60-day window and you can use those funds for any purpose, tax-free, penalty-free. So as the title of today's podcast suggests, how to use your funds in your IRA tax-free. This is the way to do it. The 60-day rule is a great, great option, but you are limited to the 60 days. It's not 12 months, it's 60 days. And you only can take the 60-day opportunity, this tax-free option. You can only use it once every 12 months for all your IRAs in the aggregate. So if you have 6 IRAs and one has 50K, the other is 100, and so on and so forth, no matter if you take $1 out or 50K out, you can only do that once every 12 months. Okay. And you have 60 days to play around with that money. You can go on vacation. You could buy yourself a gift. You can pay credit card, your mortgage, your business debt, whatever. You buy a house, doesn't matter, but you got to return the cash, not what you bought, and just put it into an IRA. If you take cash out, you got to put cash back. So what some people do for the 60 days, they have a summer home. They'll use the summer home for 60 days a year. They'll take an in-kind distribution of the summer home and then return the summer home. Obviously, it's the same home. You can't return a different home. And then you basically put the summer home back in your IRA within 60 days because the IRS talks about assets within 60 days. Doesn't necessarily need to be cash. So that's kind of a more sophisticated, advanced solution strategy for the 60-day. But for most of us, we just kind of need to tap into some IRA money to bridge the gap between bills and expenses and just regular old life. We all know what inflation is and how expensive it is to just move around and buy food and pay rent or pay on our mortgage or just buy airplane tickets and stay in a hotel. It's like so ridiculous. I have 2 young kids. Like, I can't believe how much more things cost every year. It's just basic stuff, right? Just food and stuff on Amazon. It's crazy. So yeah, things happen where you just like short some cash and you have money in your IRA, and it would be nice to tap into it. Well, you can. Just remember, you can use it for any purpose once every 12 months for 60 days at a time. And that money must be in the mail, the check, or you have to wire that within 60 days. If you fail to do that in a timely fashion, you'll be subject to income tax plus a 10% penalty if you're under the age of 59 and a half. So please plan accordingly. But again, it's a very helpful option once a year that can help all of us kind of take care of some personal or business related expenses in a tax-free and penalty-free manner. So thanks again for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Hopefully you don't ever need to tap into your IRA, but we all know like it happens, right? Whether it's 2008, whether it's COVID, whether it's just random stuff dealing with inflation, someone unfortunately, God forbid, gets sick, and we get it. I get it. I have kids and I'm married, and things happen and bills pile up. So there's nothing to be ashamed if you have to tap into your IRA. It happens. Don't be upset at yourself. Just remember the goal is for the IRA to grow, and you want to make sure that you can get those funds back, especially within the 60-day window. So use it to your advantage, but also be very focused and cautious on the rules to make sure you return those cash and the funds within 60 days so you can keep doing it again within the next 12 months. Thank you again. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the podcast and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.